Hey everyone, thank you so much for stopping by my channel today. We're going to continue our series, I don't know, what would we call it? We'll just be continuing. Do you remember I talked about in the last video that there's a little boy in our town who has been ill, and so there's a silent auction that's being held to raise money for his medical costs, his family, things like that. And so I made this stunning aromatherapy candle holder. You just put your essential oils up here, and then you put a candle that burns underneath it, and it will heat that up so that you have a lovely fragrance in your house or wherever you may be, your office maybe. So I love this. It's so pretty and it feels amazing. So this was done with ResinCrete because you guys know I love ResinCrete. And so we're gonna kind of stick with that same theme for a couple of reasons. One, I wanted to make a tray mold, and I have this gorgeous tray mold from Molds and Shapes. And I wanted to go with a Seahawks theme because we live in the Pacific Northwest and the Seahawks are all the rage. So I did want to do something Seahawks related to hopefully just entice someone to maybe pick up a tray and donate to the cause. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to create a ResinCrete tray, and then once it's finished, we'll put some vinyl on it that says, like, I don't know, Seahawks fans like other fans, only better, something like that. We'll figure that out as we get there. But first, let's get a tray mixed up. How about that? So ResinCrete, you've seen me do it so many times, so I am not going to bore you with all of the details on how to do that. If you do want information on how to mix up your ResinCrete, I will link a video so you guys can go and check that out. It's been, I don't know, I lost track of time. I've been working on this project, which I will probably do a video on because I am obsessed. So I love to make notebooks. Notebooks are my thing. They just make me so happy. And so I usually will find like a graphic or something like that and then embed it in the resin. But I recently was watching, I know, a Tumblr video, which is also my new obsession. And they use vinyl wraps all the time on tumblers. And I thought, well, why can't I do a vinyl wrap? Got some vinyl wrap from Glamour Tribe Vinyl, I think is the name. Like, they're stunning. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of gorgeous patterns. Created the notebooks out of resin with a color that would match the vinyl. But yeah, so I just poured the notebook cover, super easy. And then I put the vinyl on, and now I'm gonna epoxy over it. So I will bring you a video on this because I think it's amazing. So many gorgeous patterns and like so easy. So anyway, more to come on that, but I just wanted to show you, like, how amazing is that? It's stunning. Okay, enough about that. We are finished. This tray, well, we're not finished, but this tray is finished. So let's demold this thing and think about what we're gonna do. Oh, it's so pretty. It's just so not, it's so not Seahawks colors, but it is really pretty. Yeah, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with this yet. So I'm not sure if I'm on the fence. I'm gonna have to think about it and see what I can figure out. Maybe we can spray paint it and then we can put our decal on it. But I mean, it's absolutely beautiful and it feels great. It's just not quite the right color. Think about this while this dries. It's gonna take a couple of days to dry, and I'll think about what I wanna do, and I'll come back to you with a solution. All right, I'll see you guys in a couple of days. So it has been a couple of days, and I have a new mortal enemy. And that enemy is spray paint. I don't know how a can of paint can be so absolutely difficult to maneuver. And yet, I have an enemy. I have fought with this so many times. I have been spray painting outside in the cold, in the rain, and then it just, I don't know, it's closer to Seahawks colors, but it's still not exactly what I was going for. I think I would, if I was doing this again, I would use acrylic paint, I think. I think just I would have more control. I am not obviously very proficient with a spray paint can, and so I feel like acrylic paint would have given me more control. But you know what? We're just going to go with it. I printed out some decals on some Cricut vinyl, and let's see if we can make this look like something you'd want to have in your house. So I grabbed my Tech Wrap Craft, say that 5 times fast, transfer tape, and then started working on some of the decals. I printed out an offset in the lime green, the bright green, that just says Seattle Seahawks. If you don't know what an offset is, it is kind of like it's not an outline, like a tight outline for your letters. It's just kind of a shape that goes behind them to just kind of make them stand out a little bit more. So I printed out the offset in the lime green, and then I I cut the letters for the Seattle Seahawks in this amazing holographic shiny film that I found on Amazon of all places. But it's pretty incredible. I think it's made for cars more than resin, but you know what? Multi-purpose. So I printed out some footballs to go on each side of the tray in the white Cricut vinyl. And let me just tell you, the white Cricut vinyl wants no part of transfer tape. I mean, no part. I struggled quite a bit to get that off of the backing and onto the transfer tape and then onto the tray itself. But I think it's really cute now that it's on there. But goodness, it took some finagling. And what kind of a word is that? That is the weirdest word now that I've said it and used it. It's bizarre. Anyway, it took some effort. How about we go with that? It took some serious effort to get it on there. But I do like it, so I think it'll be good. And then I did do another football to go in the bottom right-hand corner as well. And now I'm going to weed these letters off of this vinyl. This vinyl is stunning, by the way. I absolutely love it. And there's going to be so much more of it in my future. It comes in all of these brilliant colors. There's this color, and there's some orange and some pink and some opal. And the list just goes on and on and on. And they are all just... I can't even, like, what are the words? Like stunning, gorgeous, beautiful, I don't know, pretty. I don't know. There are not words enough to describe how much I love this vinyl. So I just laid the lime green offset down, and then I'm going to go in and try and put my letters on. I'm going to try and use some transfer tape and then find out that is never going to happen. I don't think that the holographic and the really shiny reflective vinyl, I don't think transfer tape works very well with it because I've had no good success with that. So I do try because I believe in giving it the old college try. But eventually I end up using masking tape, which works so much better. After many struggles, I finally did get all of the letters down, and they look really good. I don't know that I love them with the offset, honestly. I feel like the offset is a little bit too big. But you know what? It's fine. It's totally fine. I don't think that the letters themselves would have stood out as well on this background, so I think it needed an offset. I think the offset just should have been a little bit smaller. I just think it's too large, but that's okay. Next time we know for next time. So I laid down the white vinyl that has the wording on it, and this white vinyl, I'm telling you, this whole tray has just given me a run for my money. But eventually, with a little perseverance, I did get the white vinyl down. Eventually, it finally came together. Although, I don't know if I love it. I feel like it's a little bit plain. I try to tell myself that less is more, but then I'm like, it's a lot less, and maybe it needs more. And so I decided to add some glitter. There are a lot of different adhesives that you can use for adding your glitter. I opted for the Crystalite glitter glue, which is, it's really lovely. It's one of my favorite adhesives. I don't really love Mod Podge because it dries really fast, and this kind of stays sticky for a while. It does take a long time to dry. It does take like 2 hours to dry, but I do like the fact that you have some working time and you don't have to worry about the Mod Podge drying on you. And of course, with any glue, you really want to make sure that you're putting on a thin, even coat, that you don't have like big streaks or clumps or anything like that, because it will absolutely show in your finish. So I am taking some glitter from Pamper Your Princess, I think is where it's from. It's called Paradise. It has a blue-green shift to it, which I thought would be perfect for the Seahawks since their colors are, blue and green. And in every project, or at least in every one of my projects, there's a point where something goes awry. Well, this is that point. So I sprinkled on some glitter, and the glitter was great. It was just a little bit, it was just a little highlight. And then I thought, gosh, the edges need some glitter. So let's put a little bit of glitter on the edges. And then a little bit of glitter became a whole lot of glitter. What's that old saying about in for a penny, in for a pound? Well, I just went all in. I went all in with the glitter, and I used my finger to just spread it all around the rim of the tray. And we'll see what happens. So a couple hours later, I went back out into my studio where I found that a unicorn and a fairy had a massive party, and it became Glitter Central. But that's okay because we're in this now, right? We've already done it. We're just in it. So we're just going to have to make the best of it. I did take a chip brush and just kind of brush off as much of the excess as I could, just to make it a little less uniform, or a little less unicorn. My original plan was to mix up the J. Diction 4-hour demold, but I've said it before, and I will say this forever. I don't like the 4-hour demold of any brand. It's just so darn thick, and the work time is so short that if you have leftover resin at the end of, once you've finished doing your project, it's so thick and gloopy, you end up wasting it, or at least I do. I probably just need to learn to work faster. Instead, I opted to use the J. Diction High Gloss, which is my go-to resin for pretty much everything. It has a really nice finish. It has decent working time, so I use that whenever I can. We're going to use it as sort of flood coat-esque, I guess. Even though we're not doing an actual flood coat, we're kind of going with that same principle. So I'm just taking my finger and I'm rubbing the resin all over the tray. And you can absolutely use a stick or a cotton bud or a micro brush or anything that brings you peace and happiness. But I just thought it would be easier to just get in there with my finger to make sure that I get all of the pieces on the lip of the tray. I didn't want to end up with anything that was uneven, so there would be like big clumps of resin. And I also didn't want to end up with any bare spots. And I went over the top of the tray, the sides of the tray a few times, and just kind of made sure that the coat was as even as I could get it. And then I also just ran my finger along the bottom just to catch any of those drips that might be forming. It just will make it easier in the end. And I did spend maybe half an hour babysitting it, just kind of coming back, and anything that was kind of running over the side, I did try to just wipe it off. So I'm just going to let this cure for the next 24 hours. Then we'll come back, we'll take a look at the finished piece, and we will be all done with this glitter explosion. So we are all finished, and it is shiny and sparkly. Is it what I had in mind? No. Is it perfect? No. But do I hate it? No. Actually, I kind of like it. There are some things I would do differently. I would make the offset a little smaller. I would put less glitter in. But overall, am I happy with it? I would say yes. And besides, you never know. Maybe there is someone who is out there who is like, you know what? My whole life, I've waited for something Seahawks that's glittery. And this will just be right up their street. So I really appreciate you guys stopping by and hanging out with me today. And if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you would like to see more content like this, hit the subscribe button. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you next time.